single dad helped a lost girl find her mom. Hours later, he met the billionaire mother. The storm clouds were still hanging low over the city when Adam Parker, a tired single father with a heart full of scars, saw the little girl standing alone on the pedestrian bridge, shivering, clutching a torn pink backpack, and staring at passing cars as if waiting for someone who never came. It was the same bridge he crossed every night after his late shift, the same bridge where his life felt stuck between hope and exhaustion. But tonight, something felt different. Tonight, the wind carried fear, the streets felt heavier, and the little girl's trembling silhouette looked like a quiet cry for help. Adam had no idea that helping her would pull him into a story bigger than he had ever imagined, one that would test his kindness, reshape his fate, and bring him face to face with a billionaire who had been searching the world for the very child he had just held safe. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of doing good even when life is hard, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to KHstories. Your support means the world. Adam had always been the kind of man who gave more than he had. After losing his wife 3 years earlier, he was left to raise his 7-year-old son, Liam, alone. Between juggling 2 jobs, overdue rent, and never-ending bills, he learned to find strength in small moments, the smile of his son, the quiet warmth of their tiny apartment, and the belief that even broken days could still hold a little light. But he carried loneliness the way some people carried keys, always with him, always within reach. That night when he saw the girl whose shoes were soaked and whose eyes were swollen from crying, something inside him stirred. He approached slowly, carefully, making sure not to frighten her. She didn't speak, didn't move, only clutched her backpack tighter, as if everything she cared about was inside it. Adam understood fear. He lived with it daily. So he knelt down, softened his expression, and tried to make the world feel a little less cruel. He guessed she was around 6, maybe 7 Liam's age. Her hair was messy, her clothes wrinkled, and her cheeks streaked with dried tears. She looked like a child who had run far or had been running for a long time. That thought alone pulled at Adam's heart. As he gently coaxed out bits of information from her, he learned her name was Lily. She had gotten separated from her mother at a crowded mall hours earlier, wandered outside looking for her, and somehow ended up miles away. Adam felt an ache in his chest imagining her standing alone while thousands of indifferent faces walked past. He couldn't leave her, not on a cold night, not on an empty bridge, not in a world that wasn't always kind to children or to people like him. So he took her with him, holding her small hand carefully as if she were made of glass. His apartment wasn't much, just a worn couch, cracked wallpaper, and a kitchen that buzzed when the fridge ran too long, but it was safe. Liam, wide-eyed and curious, immediately welcomed Lily. Children instinctively understood compassion long before adults complicated it. He offered her his favorite blanket, the one stitched with little blue stars, and she accepted it with a small, fragile smile. Meanwhile, Adam tried everything, calling the police, contacting malls, switching between hope and panic as he waited for information. Hours passed like slow-moving shadows. The rain softened. The night deepened. Lily eventually fell asleep on the couch beside Liam, her tiny fingers curled around his arm as if anchoring herself to safety. And Adam, exhausted from life itself, sat awake and watched them. Something about the scene made him feel both heartbreak and hope. He remembered what it felt like to protect someone, to be someone's safe place. It reminded him of the promise he made to his late wife, to never let pain change the softness in him. By dawn, the authorities finally responded. They had located the mother. She had been searching the city desperately, calling every station, every number, begging for help. Adam felt relief wash over him like a warm tide. The nightmare was ending. What he didn't know was that this reunion would change his life. He took Lily to the address the officers provided, a luxury hotel downtown. He had never stepped inside a place like that before. Everything gleamed, marble floors, golden lights, polished walls. He felt out of place in his faded jacket and worn shoes, but Lily held his hand tightly, trusting him completely. And then he saw her. A woman rushing through the lobby, tall, elegant, with tired eyes and trembling hands. She wasn't just wealthy. She carried the presence of someone powerful, someone respected, someone who commanded the world but felt utterly helpless without her child. Her breath shattered when she saw Lily. She fell to her knees, scooped her daughter into her arms and sobbed into her hair. It wasn't the cry of a billionaire. It was the cry of a mother who had lived her worst fear. She thanked Adam repeatedly, her voice shaking, asking how she could repay him, what she could give him, what he needed. Adam, overwhelmed and uncomfortable with attention, simply said he had done what anyone should do. But deep down, he wondered if that was even true. People walked past Lily all night. People ignored her. Kindness wasn't as common as he wished it were. The woman, whose name he only then learned was Evelyn Hart, studied him as if trying to understand what kind of person returned someone else's world without asking for anything.